I came to Athens on Wednesday. I met comedians here. They all behaved in a very strange way. I thought that most of them were queer. But the one who was the sexiest turned out to be a man who loves woman. Sometimes it's shit to be human. I was made so welcome when I came to Greece. Everybody talked to me like this. Maybe I come back someday if they manage to raise the pay. I know it's difficult to do comedy when they pay you €5 an hour. But if you come and visit me, I will give you financial power. I better be quiet, the comedy is on, and Demetrius, here's the most important man.
Άρα προχωράω, ναι.
Ανέβω και έτσι πάνω.
Ναι ρε, είναι και τρέγγι εκεί και τα λοιπά.
Και πού να πάω?
Κανονικά ρε παιδί μου, μπαίνεις.
Α, μπαίνω αδιάφοροι, ναι.
Please welcome the oldest member of Lukiarikakis' troupe, comedy troupe.
With the youngest man.
Yep. Please welcome Niki Hatzigeorgiou.
Go Nikki, go Nikki.
Niki Hatzigeorgiou. I'm not actress. I don't like actress. I don't like theater. I hate them. I believe they make very bad on the stand-up comedy for the Greek. The most Greek actors and actresses are Sonia. Stop it με πόλεις με
For sex? Hey Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey Mickey.
Λάπη, πάμε να κάνουμε Ανάσταση. Το πού σκέφτηκε. Βασικά η τουαλέτα δεν μας χωράει. I make stand-up comedy 11 years. Wow. And Mrs. Lukiarikakis has the team 12 years.
So you've been the longest.
Here, the longest alive. Here.
My jobs are, before I begin to make stand-up comedy, was where I make countries, I make marionettes, I clean houses, and I finished in the school of ceramic. Where are my last jobs? That I make it a little, this?
Illustration.
How we tell not, what you write me here, words?
Whore. She was a whore.
A whore.
Yes, for a little.
For a living. For a living.
A little. Before many years. Με γυναίκα έχεις πάει? Τζάμπα? It was true, I don't tell a lie.
She never tells a lie, even in stand-up.
And I believe the stand-up comedy is a way of life. Is the life.
We have grown so close.
Yeah, no further it was the life. Well,
this is our wedding photograph. We have been waiting for this day for 3 years. She could not choose the dress, so eventually I said, darling, why don't you dress as Mickey Mouse on our wedding day? And she did it, and she's made me so happy. And I have dressed as a gay Scotsman.
Εδώ θέλω να πω κάτι. Με προβληματίζει που η φίλη μου είναι αυτή.
And this is my friend, Nana Mascuri. She is singing at the wedding. I like her with her hair down, but today she has her hair up for a chair. Now I'm frightened to ever come back to this. now I'm afraid to ever come back to Greece. Everyone is totally mad. Part of telling those stories on stage was quite therapeutic. Is that right? Maybe it's the Greek tragedy happening in and out of it. Right, I was in the middle of rehearsing, but I do like the way it suddenly turned into a family affair. A lot of people find that comedy just helps them generally deal with life, because you learn to look at life in a different way. So even in the worst circumstance, you can, even in really awful circumstances that you think are uncomfortable and you think, I shouldn't laugh at this, but then you go, sorry, but it's funny. And you think, she said I'm a beautiful man. When you're it's a bad day when you're very pleased that Mickey Mouse tells you you're a beautiful man.
Θέλει να απολαύσει όλο το κορμί μου. Πάμε Κώστα.
I think that was the most surreal thing I've ever seen in my whole life. If you bring yourself into the comedy, nobody can ever be like you. Everyone in Greece is so respectful. Even when someone's on stage, everyone talks. It's amazing, so much respect. When I first started comedy, I didn't write anything down. I recorded it all, and actually most of what I do, I record it all. I mean, I rehearse and I rehearse and I rehearse and I rehearse. For me, that's the most important thing. Because I think I only have one chance to sell every single part of that story. It had to be you, it had to be you. I wandered around and finally found someone I could screw.
You are so much sweet.
Oh, well, we tried to be sweet for you. Scotland is like a big cake that you haven't tried. I think the preparation is the most important part, I think. Don't look at my legs, you scare me.
Να σου κάνω ό,τι του λέω στο
This is like two neighbors in a window.
Yes, it's
Hello?
like a window.
Hello, have you any cheese?
Yes, look.
I have to tell you all, the guys that I saw, you're much, much better and more sophisticated as comedians than you realise you are. I don't think you realise how good you all are. The pacing and the delivery and the relationship with the audience and the confidence, and every time what was nice was I watched it was like you got them excited and then more excited and then more excited and then lovely pause. And the pacing was beautiful, it was wonderful. It was such a pleasure to watch. And I just needed you to know that because maybe you don't go to see comedy in Britain, so you have nothing to compare it to. But if you saw that in Britain, you would think they're very good. So you're at quite a high standard, I think. I'm free like a bird, and I know it seems absurd, but I want to go somewhere that's gay. Take me there, you bitch. I want to be somewhere near Gatsby, where the boys are singing and the girls are wringing their hair, wearing trousers. My agent, she said to me, oh, do you want to go to Athens? And I said, oh God, no, I don't know. I don't know they won't like, no, I don't know if they'll like me. And I said, maybe it'll be more difficult because does everyone speak English? Or even if they do, will they understand the reference? Oh, it could be awful. I could go on and just be like, oh, it could be awful. And then I said, yes, I'll do it. Because the thing I've learned is everything you're frightened of, when you do it, you learn so much more from the bad things or from the things that are difficult.
Άλλο έτσι. Το κατάλογος μια ζητάει να δέσει. Μέσα σε ένα λάκκο βλέπω ένα βλάχο. Το ίδιο που καθόταν πριν σε ένα βράχο.
I love when people sing songs and they get the lyrics wrong. Well, people, your mum, right? I remember in the 80s, right, my mum used to clean the house before we had staff. And And she would sing, my mum would sing Duran Duran songs, right? And she would just make up her own lyrics. My mum would clean the house and she'd go, the reflex is an only child waiting. No, but sometimes I do what you do. Sometimes I take the phone and I say, oh my God, your daughter is here. She has told me she is a lesbian. Did you know? And it's very funny. Sometimes, one of the best ways to do it, I think, is to not say anything. Because if people are chatting and suddenly the comedian goes silent, everybody's waiting and suddenly the people who are talking become very noticeable. And I did that recently with that Britney Spears song, I'm not a girl. I was walking about singing, I'm not a man. I'm not a woman. I thought that song was about a pre-operative transsexual. I was walking about singing, all I need is time, the operation will be fine. When I'm aggressive, it's still slightly sarcastic. I'm not really angry. Yes. I'm just trying to humiliate the person who has done this so that immediately they don't do it again.
Όταν σε σκέφτομαι, το καλοκαίρι που κάνει ζέστη, να έρθεις μετά το μπάνιο σου στη θάλασσα, να μου χτυπάς την πόρτα, να δίνεις το μαλλιό σου σε αυτό το ψάρι, το καραβάκι που πάρετε τις ομπρέλες, να με μιλάς, να καλυμμένω τον μελαγχολό και μετανιώνω. Μπήκε ο μαλάκας και πέταξε αυτό το καλυμμένο ψάρι, το καραβάκι που πάρετε τις ομπρέλες. Μελαγχολό.
Σε αυτό το σημείο θα θέλαμε να ενημερώσουμε το κοινό μας ότι το συγκεκριμένο καλαθάκι το ψάχνετε για να βάζετε τις ομπρέλες μπορείτε να το προμηθευτείτε στα IKEA μόνο με 2,99!
If I'm on a bus or something and I always have my dictaphone with me because maybe you can't write something down, so I always go, oh my God, that woman on the bus, and I overheard this joke, it was so funny, and I tried to do it quietly so she can't hear me, and then I always laugh at myself trying to be so quiet, and I go, this is actually quite funny because now I'm trying to be quite quiet, and then, oh my God, she just heard me, she just heard me, she just heard me.
Δεν φταίω εγώ, μου συμβαίνει.
I come to Athens and I know when I go home I will write about the people I met and the things that happened and the comedy scene in Athens. So this is all inspiring my writing. So
you get a commission?
So no.
Get them live.
You might get. So the more you do,
We're going to do a gig about
so go out and live life and to do things that you don't normally do. Στεκόμουν εκεί.
Σαντορίνη στην κρατέρα.
Σαντορίνη. Καθερίνης.
Το υπέροχο γεωβασίλεμά μου.
Τα υπέρευα σε αυτό το μάμα.
Ξαφνικά. Μέσα από τη θάλασσα.
Μέσα από τη θάλασσα.
Βλέπω και εμφανίζεται μια υπέροχη γοργόνα. Τρελαίνομαι, τα παρατάω όλα, παίρνω το τελετέρι, κατεβαίνω κάτω, βουτώ στη θάλασσα, κολυμπώ και σε λίγο στο βράχο.
I'm gonna go piss, yeah? Everyone should try comedy. He was so depressed before he did comedy. He was about to have a nervous breakdown. And suddenly he did comedy and he realized that life can be very, very good. Especially if he is much taller and more bold than you.
How can you know I'm more bold than you?
Because you're higher.
Easy green gets me first.
Well, so it's a better answer than what I was thinking, because my answer was I haven't thought of anything so far.
They're both bold. They're both bold.
We're like two big breasts, big baldy breasts. Look, why don't you put your head there?
Of course not.
Σε αυτό το σημείο θέλω να δηλώσω ότι έχω πέσει πάρα πολύ χαμηλά.
Ήρθαμε εδώ για να περάσουμε καλά! Ποια έχει περίοδο και τσιρίζει έτσι?
Όλοι μαζί! Είναι ένα μαλακισμένο! Έχω στην κατάσσετα! Μοιάζω με πουλί γραμμένο! Που του δώσα παραμυθιά!
Behind the scenes, Greg Hill.
Turning into an ordinary person on the street to a diva. Oh my God, it's Diva Las Vegas. That's, I should call a show that.
And I am Diva Society. And I didn't know what to write, and for a week I tried to find a pen. And I write something for 5 minutes or so. And then Dimitris, at that time, I think he had hair back then. I met him with hair. Was one of the comedians already working there.
And you fell in love with him?
Of course not. And I tried. The interesting thing was that the first time I ever tried anything on stage, it worked for me.
When you first start and people keep on talking about writing and we're going to talk about writing anyway, but what writing is, and I remember feeling like I don't write, and then I realized just by telling stories that was right, and it took me a long time to take myself seriously as someone who would write, because I said, I'm not writing, I'm just making stories up, I'm just telling things that happened to me. And then I realized that when you're telling stories or like that, the first time you go on stage, it doesn't feel like it's writing, but it is writing.
When Luke Yerikaki told us that Greg Hill is coming, everyone wondered, oh, what he's gonna say. And I wondered, oh, what he's gonna wear. But I thought, it's okay. I have 5 closets. What he's gonna wear. And he comes up with this black leather kilt. And he's saying, beat this bitch. Don't worry. Use it. Give them a hint that maybe I'm gay. And I said, Greg, you gay? You haven't met my boyfriend. Trust me, you're straight.
Now he's a stand-up comedian. Please welcome the original Highlander, Trick Ltd.
It got me thinking, you know how they always have these songs, these CDs of songs to make love to? I thought, what happens if you're single? How come they don't have a wee tape of songs to masturbate to? This is my moment. my perfect moment with me. I just don't know what to do with myself. Please release me.
Wait. There you go.
How spontaneous.
You gotta tell us, you're leaving tomorrow, right?
Yes, are you coming with me, you big bald guy?
Are you paying for the tickets?
I'll pay for everything.
You're on.
I am so on. You're off. No, I'm sorry.
Σαν τους διακόπτες. So, did you learn any Greek while you were here?
No, can you teach me some now?
Yes, I can teach you that Panagiotis is short for Panos. Or it's the other way around, actually. Panos is short for Panagiotis, so you've been talking to the same person. Spooky.
Sounds like an island. Oh, we had a lovely 2 weeks in Panos. It was the best holiday I ever had. It was so cheap. You see how spontaneous I am?
The thing is, you will be leaving, but I guess you'll be going out tonight for the last night.
Well, maybe. It depends on...
So I just got to show you how you can tell men whether they're gay or not by the way they dance.
Oh, really?
Okay.
I would like to know, because it's very confusing.
Okay, so when you see a Greek guy dance like this,
It's like you're dying.
yeah, but you're dying straight. Okay, so...
You're still dead.
So what can you do to them?
I don't know, give them a flower, make it more happy?
So this way, they're straight.
All right, okay.
Okay, when they do this, well, you can tell.
Well, they're obviously on drugs.
Wait a minute, here comes the tricky part.
Uh-huh.
Bisexual men.
People who want too much.
Bisexual Greek men would dance something like this. They would go like... That was Craig here, ladies and gentlemen!
I personally think that God is French, because when you speak to him, he ignores you. So, yeah, I did the bus tour today. I went to saw all the old things, saw the Acropolis, which is great, and I went in the museum. And, right, I'm no prude, as you know, but your ancient statues, would it have been too much trouble to sculpt underpants? Because there's people in there pointing and giggling at the naked statues. All right, I was pointing and giggling and pointing at the naked statues. That's not the point. But I think I've worked out why the ancient Greeks died out. Because most of your ancient statues, the male ones, they've only got half a penis.
I will be doing the talking.
Okay.
You'll be doing the translating, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
I am going to be doing what?
Yes, έλα. 3, 2, 1 και... Να ζει κανείς ή να μη ζει.
To be or what?
No. You have a lot to learn. Okay. Έλα. 3, 2, 1 και... Αχ, κακόμοιρε, Γιώρικ!
Alas, poor Yorick, you have jaundice.
Έτσι, αλλά δεν νομίζω. We can't afford him. Λοιπόν, να πας σε μοναστήρι, το λέει. Α, κάτσε, εκεί που σκοτώνει τον άλλον. Α, όχι, το άλλο θα κάνουμε. 1, 3, 2, 1 και... Λόγια!
Λόγια ψεύτικα.
Words.
Words, 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 and lager.
Right, it's the AA Hamlet.
I'm going to give Nicholas some bad news, and the news is just going to get worse and worse and worse. We'll treat it as a master-servant game, whereby Nicholas is the owner of the mansion, and I'm his servant. And I'm just going to keep giving him bad news. And this is a technique that's very useful for both writing and performing as well. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I'm afraid I have some rather bad news.
Oh, let me hear it.
I'm afraid I've spilled some milk in the kitchen, sir.
My kitchen?
Yes, I'm afraid it's worse than that, sir. I'm afraid I spilt it on the cat, sir.
Really?
I'm afraid it's worse than that, sir. I'm afraid the cat ran out of the door and ran through a pane of glass and has cracked the glass, sir.
Not this glass.
I'm afraid it's worse than that, sir. I'm afraid the cat was blinded in the process, sir.
Poor eyes.
I'm afraid it's worse than that, sir. I'm afraid I know how much eyes mean to you. I tried to get the blood out of the carpet, sir, and used bleach by mistake, and I'm afraid I've burnt a hole in the carpet, sir.
In the front door?
I'm afraid it's worse than that, sir. I'm afraid your daughter came in and saw the bleach and thought it was water, and she drank it, sir, and she's died, sir.
Jenny?
I'm afraid it's worse than that, sir. I'm afraid that young Jeremy came in and, seeing his dead sister on the floor, became distraught, and he ran through the French windows, and he's pierced his carotid artery in his neck, and he's got blood all over the curtain, sir.
My curtain?
I'm afraid it's worse than that, sir. I'm afraid I decided to take the bodies to the mortuary, and I put them in the boot of the Bentley, sir, and as I backed it out the garage, I scratched it on the gatepost, sir.
My paint.
I'm afraid it's worse than that, sir. I'm afraid I was so distraught that I decided to bury the bodies in the garden, and I hit a water main and flooded the garden, and I've ruined your prized geraniums and your roses, sir.
No, my roses.
Your roses are ruined, sir. I'm awfully sorry. I'm afraid it's worse than that, sir. I'm afraid because of the dead bodies and all the water, cholera. The disease cholera has broken out in the village, and 200 people have died, sir. I'm afraid it's worse than that, sir. I'm afraid that the army have surrounded the house, and they're blaming you, sir, and I have the helicopter on standby, and I'm about to run off with your wife, sir.
Which wife?
Oh, Lucy's private phone. Yes, yes. What's she gonna say?
Yeah, answer it.
Hello.
Hello. No, she's here. Don't worry. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome that extra large comedian from Britain, Lucy Porter.
But I don't really deserve it. But one man who does is your lovely host and compere, the gorgeous Demetrius. I've been doing comedy for about 10 years, based in London, and I do the sort of stand-up comedy circuit in the UK. So I go sort of all over We've got hundreds of comedy clubs in the UK now, and there's hundreds of comedians working in them as well. So there's quite a big circuit.
So what does it say here?
That says.
Well, you got the E's right.
It's, we have. It says there's a dirty picture on the front, so I like it.
So who cares what's saying, or what the words say?
She actually can read Greek.
I'm learning now.
We had this newspaper, and she could read the capitals of Europe on the weather page.
I felt like such a proud father. But yeah, so I mean, it's interesting for me. Obviously, I'm learning a lot from being here doing this. Before I came to Greece, I never realised that all Greek people think that all British men are gay. Is that fair? Because I never knew that, and now I'm looking at all the beautiful Greek women and thinking, yeah, no wonder. To be honest, it's my fault. I've turned all these men gay. Because, like I say, I've never really felt British properly until I came to Athens. But my mother and father, they are sort of, you know, even though they're not from Britain, they had a very traditional British wedding. She was heavily sedated, and he was a repressed homosexual. That's how we do things in Britain.
Do you believe that stand-up comedy is men or women thing?
It seems like here there's quite a lot of women doing
Γιατί ρωτάς, είπα, θα κάνεις αλλαγή φίλου, να σου πει.
Sorry, we should translate that. If you answer it to women stuff, would you change?
Yeah. You've got such pretty eyes, you'd be a lovely girl. There's just quite a lot of women doing comedy in Britain, but it's kind of hard. I mean, I think culturally it's very. It depends, you know. In America, I found it's much easier. There aren't any preconceptions about women doing comedy. People are very relaxed about a woman getting on stage. Oh, you're so sweet. It's Dimitris. And you said Jim. Oh, I'm going to give you a new English name.
Your nipple friend.
Your nipple friend. Bless you. No, I'm just going to call you my bitch. The classic heckle is get your tits out. That's the number one
that's
heckle.
So sweet.
Which is sweet, isn't it? They just want you to get your tits out.
Flash us.
I mean, and that is the most common heckle that I get still, you know.
And what's the funniest answer that you give to this?
I just do it.
Now we know what to ask for tonight.
Hello, I am Lucy and it is lovely to be here. I am from Britain and I am the shortest British comic. People say, oh, it must be so hard being a little person, it must be so difficult being small. But it's not, it's actually brilliant because you know, in summer, when you see children running up and down the beach naked, that's when I get my clothes. So it's fine. Don't worry, there you go, sir, bye. Loving your work, off you go. Look at the lovely Greek hairy men. Greek men are so hairy, I love that.
I was watching you perform last night, and you were quite sweet and very friendly to the audience, and then you would say something very harsh and very, I don't know, very bitchy or very filthy. And after that, you would pamper them and pet them again, so you would just pull back to your previous state of sweetness. And do you find that safer, not to go all the way being hostile? You get the meaning?
Yes, I totally do. Yeah, I mean, I think that whatever your comedy persona is, it's always good to play against it. And, you know, so if your persona is tough, then you say something quite sweet and gentle and unexpected that way. Or if your persona is kind of gentle, then, you know, you can get away with saying harsher things because people kind of go, did she really say that? Oh, and then you've moved on. By the time they've registered that you said something filthy.
Yeah, because every time you would say something and you would say, oh, you're such a darling, you're sweet, you're lovely.
Well, so I'd come on stage, the MC would say, so coming up we've got a young girl, give her a break, you know, she's only little, but you know, she'll make you laugh. Here she is, Lucy Porter, and I come on and just absolute bewilderment because they were looking at me and, you know, I'd be sort of dressed in jeans or whatever, and they were like, how's she going to take these off? We're intrigued to see how she's going to strip. And then I'd start talking, and then they'd realise that I was.
Oh my God, she's not a stripper.
Oh my God,
Oh my God, it talks.
Exactly. you know, I was thinking, you know, all the problems that there are in the world, and I don't really know who to blame for the problems in the world. Is it the Islamic fundamentalists, or is it the Western governments? You know, and I was thinking, well, you know, it's not really the Islamic fundamentalists' fault, it's not really the Western government's fault, because all they're trying to do, really, is bring democracy to the world. And then I thought, hang on, who invented democracy? Oh, you. That's what I'm saying. Everything's your fault. That's all I'm saying. 2,500 years ago, you started fucking it up. That's it. I see comedy as therapy, really. So for me, it's like all of the bad, basically all of the things that I know are wrong with me and that I'm nervous about or insecure about. Those are all the things that I get out. My family are very traditional Catholics. They're very devout, and they go to mass every day, and they do the rosary every night, and so it's amazing. They, you know, they
still talk to you.
Yeah, but
They do?
But they've never seen my. Well, they've seen me on television, but they've never seen me live.
But you don't talk about sex on television, I suppose.
Oh no, I do. But I think my dad pretends he can't hear.
But
My dad always says, I couldn't hear it, and my hearing's too bad. But they're very elderly as well. He's 80 and she's 70.
oh, how sweet.
So they just don't really understand any words like cunnilingus. It's like Greek people watching me. They kind of go, we kind of get half of it, but we don't really understand. So you know. It has been lovely. I've had such a lovely time in Athens. I've been here for 2 days, and I've seen everything, all the important things. I've been to Attica, Notus Galleries, Honda Centre. Yay! Because you know, I was thinking, you know, the Acropolis. It's been here for millennia. It's still going to be here. The sales not forever, are they? That's what I'm thinking. Shopping is good. But no, I lie because I have been to the Acropolis, and I love the way that in Athens, you know, you preserve all the old things at the Acropolis, the temples, the theatres. You preserve the plumbing in my hotel as well. It's a lovely old thing. And then we got up to the what's it called, the Syntagma Square, and I just thought, oh, I hope there's no trouble, because the only people to protect the Parliament are those little teenage boys in the skirts. Oh! And I felt so sorry for them because they're so young. You know those boys, and they wear the skirts and the big shoes, and they do that, and so I went to the Acropolis. And I was walking around, and it was all beautiful, and I was looking around, and then I saw all the lovely old stones. There was just a little stone there, and I thought, oh, I could steal that, right? And that made me feel truly British.
I think these workshops have really helped me in terms of how I perform and how I write and how bold I can be and get.
Bolder?
Bold as in the bold and the beautiful. Come on! Oh my God.
Those workshops helped me realize that stand-up comedy is a real job. Also, I can do it and make money from it. I don't have to be a fucking lawyer.
To me, stand-up comedy is this. It's πώς είναι η προστακτική, ρε?
Imperative.
It's imperative that I use for my cock. I have gave him the name comedy, so when I want to fuck, I say to him stand-up comedy. He gets up.
And I say stand-up comedy too. I'm 100% behind you on that. Come on,
This is your last night here.
Yeah. I'm sad to go.
It's time to go, yeah.
I'm glad to leave the plumbing. But other than that, everything else has been
You'll
great.
go back to rainy London.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to tell them that sun exists, right?
They won't believe me. This
Well,
is some crazy myth.
You took some pictures, so you can show them.
I can. I'm taking pictures of you.
So, yeah, I'm quite sunny over here. We'll be doing one last game with the audience. We'll make them behave as if they're the audience of an American sitcom.
Okay.
So we'll be saying one thing and they will be all reacting the same way.
Okay.
So, let's go.
I've got Jim on side already.
Yeah.
He's my bitch. We can work with him. That's fine.
This is the end of our show. But we'll be giving a gift away. But just one. But if you came back, maybe you can win it next time. But you'll have to pay a ticket again. not that happy?
They're very good.
Yeah, I know.
I think they're great.
Well, being an American or pretending to be one is not that hard, is it? Who should be getting this book, you think?
Well, I'm obviously biased towards Jim, but you know, I'm just hoping that's going to be the first of many things I give to Jim tonight.
Do you want to write your phone number on it?
Yeah, I might do that.
Okay, okay. So Jim, you can give it to Jim if you want to.
With all my heart.
She's older than me.
Considerably older.
Oh, she's fatter than me.
I know, but I fell in love with her the other week because we were sitting in the garden and I must take a bath. I feel I've got the Doris's sweat all over me. I'm sorry, dear.
She probably has her semen, your semen all over her.
Her semen? Yes, she does.
She does?
She does, and I'm sorry.
What do you mean you're sorry? Do you know who you're dealing with? I'm the wife of your 3 children. The wife?
Sorry? Yes, that's one of the reasons I'm leaving you. Why did you marry our children?
Okay, I want to go out.
You're going out for good? Because...
Forever and ever. And you'll be paying alimony for the rest of your life.
Well, Doris and I are... Well, we're going to get married. I'd like a divorce.
Over my dead body.
It's funny you should say that.
Bartholomew.
I need my shoes. Because when I put my shoes on, I'm sorry, darling, but I'm going to kick you to death.
You mean your Prada shoes?
Yes.
You're not getting your Prada shoes.
Yeah, what am I supposed to do? Kick you to death in my slippers?
I need a vacation.
You are. You're going to get one. A vacation from life. Okay, and Kurt.
Please welcome Owen O'Neill!
Hello. Good evening, Athens. I like to walk into very expensive hairdressers, like Trifonas Samaras. Trifonas Samaras, the greatest hairdresser in the world, he thinks. So I like to walk, actually I walked into a shop today, and I like doing this in other shops, like Tony and Guy and places like that, but I walked into a shop today and did this. Excuse me, can I speak to Trifona Samar? I am sorry, he's not here today. I want to phone and speak to him now! What do you want? I want a haircut! Where is he? Trifonas! I want Trifona! That's always good fun. And you know, in Athens, the drivers in Athens, you people are fucking crazy. Mind you, you're looking very nice. Did you go to Trifonas? Me too.
Ultimately, the challenge for a stand-up comedian, I think when you go up on stage, I think it's your job to make the audience laugh. I mean, that is your job. If 20% are laughing and 80% aren't laughing, you know, there's really not much you can do about that. But I think the next time you go up, I think every time you go up on stage, you have to get the other 80% to laugh. I think that's your job. I mean, I think you really have to either acknowledge it or find out what's wrong. I did the hairdresser thing. It's just a kind of a visual thing at the beginning. It's a stupid joke, but it gets people laughing and it relaxes them, and it looks silly. It's visual, and I think it's, if you're going to another country, to get the audience on your side, to get them laughing, and then you can relax. You know, they relax because they can laugh, and I think it's an easy way. It works everywhere.
When you're crossing the road, any other city in the world that I've been to, when you're crossing the road, the green man, he comes on, and in London, anywhere, Paris, you walk across, they give you time to cross the friggin' road. Not here. Green man, red man, fucking run! Somebody run! Like, what's going on? I think the red man gets jealous of the green man.
Comedy is all about personality. It's about, you have to, the audience don't know who you are. It's like going out on a date, you know?
Yeah, you can't start off, let's go.
Come on, let's go home, I want to... You can't...
Nice stuff.
It doesn't work like that, and I think stand-up comedy is a bit like that. It's a bit like a relationship. Because you're having a relationship with the audience. It was really good for me to come to, because I live in London and I don't really write new material in London because my mind is not there. I don't think I've got to think of new things. So I was forced to think of new things whenever I came to Athens, and it's reinvigorated me. Now I think when I go back to London, I'm going to start to write new material about London, and I'm sure there's lots of stuff that I've missed. So coming here, for me, has been beneficial in that way, that I will now be inspired. So you people have inspired me to write new material whenever I go back home.
And then you have the traffic policemen. Why do they have whistles? What the fuck is all the whistling about? Are they frustrated football referees? You don't need, there's no whistle. All you've got to do is that. Stop! That means stop. Greek drivers, what's he doing? What does that mean? I don't know!
The IRA, they were bombing in the sort of late 80s, sort of early 90s. They were bombing, they always put bombs in toilets. So they were all sitting around the IRA and saying, right, how are we going to get the English out of Ireland? And then the leader would say, I know what we'll do. We'll go to London and we'll bomb some toilets, okay? And I was going, what the fuck? Who makes these decisions? You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. What do they think? Eventually, the English will have nowhere to shit. And then they will give Ireland back. Oh, please, give it back. We've got nowhere to shit. You know? When a bomb is under a car in London, it doesn't wait for an Irish person to walk past. You know? It doesn't think, here comes a Northern Irish person. I won't explode until an English person comes along. You know, the bombs aren't that clever.
Someone told me that you're being bugged. Your mobile phones are being bugged by the British and the Americans. Why? Have you got something we need to know? Do the Greeks know something that we don't know? Well, I know the recipe for moussaka. George Bush, I want to find out that fucking recipe for moussaka. Yeah. Forget about Iraq. We want the fucking recipe for moussaka. Get some FBI, CIA down there. I want it right now, okay? Okay, bye.
You said the jokes about the Greek guards in the parliament, in Syntagma. Okay. I believe you have jokes about the guards in Britain. That's...
I would never think of doing a joke about the guards in Britain.
Why?
Why? Because they don't do anything.
I want to see the guards changing. What are those guys doing? The guards and the dresses and the so fucking. It's like river dance in slow motion. And what are they doing with those furry animals on their shoes? Scanjoheros! Scanjoheros! Hedgehog, yes. Hedgehog. And they are supposed to be guarding the president or whoever, the prime minister. They couldn't catch anyone. He tried to kill the president. Come back! You fucking... I'll kick you up the ass with my Scanjoheros! Ridiculous. And they also guard the unknown soldier. Why? Has he escaped lately? And if the unknown soldier did escape, you couldn't find him because nobody knows who he is. Excuse me, have you seen the unknown soldier? No, I don't know what he looks like. Nobody knows who he is.
Thank you so much, that's very kind. Do you know to use? Yeah. That's fantastic.
Now you can take it on stage.
Yes, I can take it with me.
And now you have a prop.
That's my first prop, thank you very much. I've come to Greece and I've made some Greek people laugh. And I'm from Ireland, so it's travelled. So I guess it works, you know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there was, obviously, if there was a Greek-speaking audience who didn't speak any English, I don't think it would travel. I think they will be asking too much. But no, I do think it travels. I think I think the world is becoming smaller and smaller, isn't it? I mean, we've all got traffic, and we've all got relationships, we've all got, so, you know, there's, we're all the same, really, I think. There's, you know, but, you know, we're all being Americanized, aren't we? I think that's a problem.